All right, so I just wanted to provide some training and just a couple short examples of how to send emails and texts for Pittsylvania County. So to start, we go to SendinBlue.com. Not logged in already. Hit login over here. You should have already received your login and learned how to do that and set up your account. Once you log in, we get to our dashboard. This is the main place where we can accomplish things. So most of you, all that you're going to need to do is under email and SMS. Everything else you're not going to need to touch. So we're going to start with email. So the way that we do this is we usually duplicate existing emails, because as you can see, we already have 354 emails that have been sent through this system, or 344 that have been sent, 10 drafts that were never sent or going to be sent. So you can find one that is similar to what you're going to send out and duplicate it. So for instance, if we're looking for the Pet Center, if you type in the word pet and search that, you can find plenty from the Pet Center that you can pull from. For instance, I know several people send out jobs through here. Those are named by their job title, so you can search that way. There are different things that you can search in here. If I do parks, see if there's anything. Those are both job. That's not it. For Parks and Rec, we did an email about basketball and cheer. So there's different things you can search in there. Just poke around and see if you find one that interests you, that you would like to duplicate, that fits what you're trying to do. I'm going to do an example for, let's actually do the Pet Center. So if we do pets, so this is an email we sent about the Pitco Pets campaign. So we're going to hit more. We find one we like, we hit more, and we hit duplicate. So then we have, this is our new draft. So we hit edit. There are several things we can do here. We can rename. So if we click that, we usually try to do it. The way that I would recommend to do it is a short title of what it is. So Pet Center Test, and then the date that you're sending it. So January 10th. And I'm not actually going to send this, obviously. This is just to show how this process works. We choose your contact list. So this is for the Pet Center. So we would send it to the list. If this loads, the list of subscribers for the Pet Center. So once you click add recipients, you can do list or segment. We don't really have any segments, so we do lists. These are different subscription lists of people that have signed up for different things. So if we come down to Pet Center News and Events, you see here it says 973, and you see here it says 560. So just to explain that difference, 973 people have at some point been in this list, but only 560 are actually active. And there are many people that, if they don't open any emails from Pittsylvania County for 2 months, we either assume they don't want them, or they don't want, or they're not getting them. So we stop sending them, so that improves the deliverability of our emails for our remaining people that are interested. That's all happening automatically. So when you select your list, you'll see that it's a different number there. Don't worry, this is the correct number. You hit save. So we got, by default, this is from the Pet Center. And I will also show that we have public relations, first we have Pet Center. We have recreation, which is Parks and Rec, and we have Chris Key in here, which is for the public safety newsletter. Everything else should come from public relations at pitgov.org. Or any other, in the future, there may be other senders, but for now, those are the options. So this one's Pet Center, so we'll stick with that. We do our recipients. Here's where we do our email subject. Then we get to, so the subject is when you get an email, it has a subject line, and usually you can see something under it. That's the preview. Then we edit design. So this is why duplicating an existing one is good, because it already has a good setup where we can basically adjust this text, this title, this image, this button. and we're good to go. All this stuff down here is good to go. We don't need to change any of that. Obviously, you can create your own or start from a template, but this is the way that we've generally done it, and I think is the smoothest as far as the least amount of steps. So like I said, you come in here, this is just a little text editor. You can update information here. You can add hyperlinks, you can bold text, you can do some formatting with color. I would generally keep this pretty simple and pretty short. So for instance, if let's say we're sending out a email about a pet center sale, the way that we've normally done this is we add maybe 2 sentences about the sale, the when, the how much, the what animals are eligible, have a graphic here, or some sort of image here. It could just be a picture of a dog, or for if it's Parks and Rec, a generic picture of kids playing sports. If it's for sports sign up, something visual to represent. You could get rid of that. You don't have to have that in there. That's just a nice little element to include. And then here's a button. So generally we have the image that also has the link attached to it. So if you hover over any of these elements like the image, you see the remove link button is active, or the add link. So if we click on this, we see that this image is linking to this page. And same thing with this button here. So both of those if we're duplicating an email, we want to go in and update the link that it's going to. So if we highlight that text and click add link, we see this. We can get rid of it and then copy and paste our own link in there. Same thing with the image. These already have links, but these are generic ones to keep at the bottom, just so you see how that works. You can also drag and drop things in. So you could drag in a new text box, a new image, a new button. These are button modules. Those are pretty much the only ones we use. I mean, there's at the bottom here, we have our legal text. So it's these title, text, image, button pretty much are all we use. But like I said, if you're duplicating, just sort of follow that general format with the text here, the image here, and then make sure that the image and the text have the link to the appropriate place on the website that you're trying to drive people to. You can always save as you're doing this. Once you are at a good place, you hit continue. If you're getting ready, I would always recommend preview and test before you send it, just to make sure everything works correctly. So if you hit preview and test, you can type a certain customer in, because if you do it so you can set personalizations where it includes their first name in it. We generally don't do that. So that's what the previous customer, what the differences would be there. What you want to do is go here to send test, and if you click that, it comes up with a list of people who have already been added that can receive tests. You can easily add yourself, add your new test recipient, enter your email address, and then click yourself. So I will show for myself, I'm going to add my email address here, hit send test, and then I'll get that email within a minute. Actually, I'm going to do so I'm going to do this email address. And then I'm going to go to the website to get to our employee email login just to show what I get. All right, so we get here. This is the email that we have received. We see all the information we put in there. If we click that, that opens a new link, which I didn't adjust the link, so this is still the link from the old email. Same thing with the button. So everything is working as it's supposed to, taking you to where it's supposed to as I set it up. always a good idea to test, check your links, make sure it is working well. Once you review all of this stuff down here is already set up as it's supposed to be, so you don't need to adjust this. Once you're ready, you would hit schedule. And then you can either hit send now, you can schedule for later and pick any time in the future, or you can send at best time, which is basically you pick a day, and then the system will send it to people at times that it thinks they might be more prone to opening it. Is the general idea there. You can also hit save and quit, so you can, quit, get out of it, come back to it later, which is what I'm going to do. That's how you send an email. So again, your subscriber list, all of that is being added automatically. You shouldn't have to touch any of that because those are coming through. Again, if we go back to the website, there's this form at the bottom of every page on our website where people can sign up for lists. There's also, places on social media and other different places where people can find forms to sign up for our lists. Next, I'm going to show SMS campaigns. So we already saw, we've been dealing with email as we just went through. This is SMS. So this is a little bit different process. So there's no way we don't duplicate things here. So texts have to be for it to count as one text, it has to be under 160 characters. So that makes it a little bit different process. No images, no anything like that. So what we do is we hit SMS and we come to create SMS campaign. Again, generally good practice is to just name it something you're going to be able to track, which how we've done it previously is Pet Center January 10th. That's generally how I've done it previously, is some good name _ date. SMS sender is Pitco. And then this is a little bit newer, this process, but this has greatly improved the reliability of this texting service. So if you click manage compliance for the United States, which you have to click that. If you don't, none of this is going to work. We have to input a organization prefix, which we always put Pitco. So that shows up at the beginning, and then unsubscribes instructions. So we put Pitco as the organization prefix, and then at the end, we do stop space to stop, so that someone can text the word stop to stop receiving these texts. After that, you get to your actual text itself. So you're left with 143 characters. So generally speaking, you want to give a very short overview of what you're talking about. Then what we do, so if we wanted to post a link from the website, so let's say we go back to, let's say we want to send this news story. We only have 143 characters, and that's a lot of characters in that URL. So even though this was only a one short sentence, that almost takes up the entire text. So what we want to do is we want to go to Bitly. So if you type in bitly.com, which I'm going to sign out and show you how this works. If we go to bitly.com, this is basically a link shortener, and then we want to hit login. Oki.norcut, Oki is email is associated with this account now. And then let me make sure I got the password right. So it's Pitt County Gov with 1 exclamation mark. And Oki could change that at some point, but for now, that is the password associated with this account. So again, it's Oki's email and then Pitt County Gov with capital P, capital C, capital G. This opens up our link shortening tool. So how this works is these are all links that we have made previously. So if we look at this link where it says Library Assistant Chatham, this is the original link. So we see how long that is. This is the shortened link that if we create it, we just have to use that little link. If someone types that in their browser, it'll send them to this URL. So if we go to create new, we can create a new one. So we're going to do that news article we've already done. Let me find one we haven't done before. taxes and fees. We do this URL, come down to title, it automatically renames it. You can rename it something else if you like. You can also customize the backend. So all of our links start with pitco.info. You can customize the back. So we could say taxes. Or you can just, if you leave that blank, it'll just have some like 5 or 6 letters and numbers together. You can do a QR code. You shouldn't need to do that. Once you're ready, you hit create. And this is your new link. So we see the pitcoinfo.taxes, and we can try, if we click it here, it takes us right to that page. So you can either try it there, or you can also hit copy. The benefit of this is it shows how many clicks we're getting. So we see this library assistant job we were looking at a minute ago has had 14 people clicked on the link that we sent through the text messages. So that's good to know. 14 people were interested enough in that text to click on the link. We hit copy. So we copied this link. Now we're going to go back to our SMS text builder and paste it in. And I will also tell you, if you want to get more characters, you can actually get rid of the HTTPS in the beginning, and it'll still work to be able to click on the link. So that saves you a few characters as well. So you can see here, we have 53 characters remaining. I will say that you can go over 160, but at that point, it's going to count as 2 text messages, and for our system, we have to pay double. We have to pay like we're sending 2 texts. Basically, we have to pay for credits to be able to send text. Emails, we have 20,000 a month. It doesn't matter how up until that limit, there's no limit except for that 20,000 a month. For text, we pay as we go. So anyway, this is our text. Let's say we're good to go. We can hit next step, and you can also send a test. So if you want to input your own number, which it has to already be in the system. So if you are interested, and maybe you haven't signed up yet, if you are interested, again, you come to the website, come to the very bottom of any page and hit subscribe and enter your information here, including your phone number. And then you would be able to type in your phone number with the 1 in front of it. So I'm going to do mine. And that sent me a text, the test of that text. And usually you'll receive it within a minute. So I'm going to get out of that. So once I'm good with all of this, I hit next steps. And now I get to pick my list of people I want to send it to. So again, we'll pick Pet Center. This is showing the number of people that at one point have been in the Pet Center email list. But if you click that, you have to come down to update recipient count. So we see that there's 973 that at one point have been subscribed to emails from the Pet Center. But if we come down here, there's 151 that have subscribed to, yes, I would like to get texts about the Pet Center. So we hit update recipient count. You can apply filters and do stuff like that. We already have the filter about unengaged contacts, so I would say don't mess with that. Then you go to next step. And this is basically just a final page to show you everything you're doing. So we got our organizational prefix, the text we sent, the link is included. We have our unsubscribe instructions as required by the compliance thing. Shows who we're sending it to. And then again, we can either hit save and quit or schedule. For some of you, it may make sense. Like I know, for instance, the Board of Supervisors upcoming meetings. So for our deputy clerk, she will be sending out monthly this same exact link every time, because if we click on this link, it sends users to this page about all upcoming Board of Supervisors meetings, and the text that she's sending out are about multiple meetings happening on the same day. So that's the best way to do that. For some of you, you might have an event. So for instance, if you're for the Pet Center, again, if we go to their news and events page, we don't have any upcoming events, but if we look at past events, you could send the link to these individual events, or could create one for this page and say, find out about upcoming events upcoming events on this page. It's entirely up to you and how you want to do that. You have access to this Bitly account now. If you have any questions about any of that, I would recommend getting with Holly Kazee, and she will be able to help walk you through some of that.